Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? I am so excited for this video because it is my first video I'm filming for 2024 and we're going to be testing out a new indie brand and an expensive indie brand at that. So today we are trying out Ensley Reign Cosmetics. I did just go ahead and purchase one palette just to get a feel for their shadows because this palette with shipping was over $100. Luckily, I was able to find a discount code. I actually used my friend Karen Harris's code. I believe it's KH Makeup, and I think I saved 10% off, which brought the total down to right under $100, but this was definitely a pretty penny, and I'm hoping that I did not waste my money and that I'm going to absolutely love these shadows, but regardless, at least I can let you guys know my experience, and you can determine if this is a brand worth purchasing from. It's like, I love indie brands. I love trying new brands, but sometimes when it gets really up there is some like anxiety because it's like, I want to love this. It's not returnable. So we're gonna see. So like I said, in today's video, we're gonna go over my experience purchasing from the brand. We're going to do live swatches of every single shade, do an eye look, and at the end, I'll give you like my final first impression thoughts. So I placed my order on December 12th and it arrived to me on January 2nd. Their website does have clearly listed that their processing time is between 15 and 20 business days. So I would say it was pretty on par for what I expected. It wasn't too long, but this was not a pre-order. They do have pre-orders available which say that they're going to take between 6 and 8 weeks, so that's just something to keep in mind. This was readily available on the website, and then if you throw in the holidays, I feel like it was not a bad shipping time at all. The shipping was $15, which I thought was a little expensive for domestic shipping of just one eyeshadow palette. But then when it came, it was a whole experience. Like, it came with like a bigger box around it and like a bunch of packaging and whatnot, which I'm assuming was to keep it safe, but it was also like, it looked nice. It looked very professional. I'll just show you. It came in this box, like with the palette inside, and then this was wrapped around with a bunch of bubble wrap inside another box. They also included a free gift in the package, which is just a lip gloss. It's called the Rain or Shine gloss, and it looks really, really pretty, very sparkly, so I figured we could try that out today. Enough of the nitty gritty, let's take a peek at the palette and start swatching because the color story is gorgeous. Like, it is a very big palette. You do have the option to move all of these shadows around. You can pop them all out. I have heard that all of the shimmers in this palette are so stunning, so unique, a bunch of holographic shadows, multi-chromes, like just the top tier type of shimmery shadows. So I cannot wait to touch all of these. Like, right off the bat, this shade right here, Lunar Light, it's doing something for me. I also love that they made the mirror inside look like a fancy mirror, like with the design. That's so cute. So the first shade we have here is Nodal Shift, which just looks like a really soft pink matte. And right off the bat, it feels very creamy, feels really nice to the touch. And then we have Faye, which this looks, oh, that's gorgeous. It's like this slick, iridescent multi-chrome. There's some shifts of pink, some shifts of green. I mean, hopefully you guys can see that is definitely very intense, my type of shimmer shadow. We've got Portal, which is like a soft mauve, I would say. Super, super pretty. Okay. Next, we have the shade Light Language, which looks like such an intense shift of like nothing to purple. If that makes sense, like the base, you can barely see it. And then the shift is just so intense. And again, it feels really just like silky smooth to the touch. We've got Enlightened, which I would say is like a little bit more of like a slightly deeper mauve than the previous shade, but like obviously not a deep shade at the same time. We've got Divine Light, which is another really pretty iridescent multi-chrome. We've got some shifts of pink, some shifts of blue, a little bit of green maybe. And again, it feels very silky to the touch. Okay. That shade is super pretty, just like how you can like not see it when you turn, but then the shift is just there, like right where it hits the light. Next we have Paradise, which is a really beautiful, soft sage matte. Again, it feels very creamy to the touch. We've got Earthlight. Sorry, I got a phone call, but that's a really pretty, like, berry, like, purpley, shifty shade with a green base. I think that one is holographic. It looks a little holographic. And then we've got Awakening, which is like more like a minty green matte. I feel like originally, like, looking at this palette, I was most excited about the shimmers, but the mattes do feel really nice. Ooh, that's super pretty. Love the sparkles. It looks like a rainbow. Next we have Moonrise, which, oh my goodness, so pretty. It's like a silvery green. Kind of obsessed already. We've got Lost World, which is a really pretty teal. And then Shattered Stars, which looks like a mixture of like purple and blue, but a little bit more of like a brownie mauvey base. That's definitely my favorite shadow so far. Ooh, so pretty. Okay, so I feel like that's a good space to stop. We've swatched almost half the palette. So far, so good. Very, very happy with it. I'm gonna wipe this off and we can keep going. Next we have Majestic, which is another mauve, but this one, it's a little bit deeper. Super, super pretty. Kind of matches the wall behind me. We've got True Essence, which looks like a holographic blue shadow. This is definitely the chunkiest one that I've swatched so far. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's definitely more chunky. And then we've got Transcend, which looks like a cornflower blue. And that one's actually not as creamy as the other mattes. It's the first one that's like a touch more like sheer. I mean, it still looks swatched pretty well, but you can just feel like a slight difference in texture. Ooh, that's pretty. Like I said, a little more chunky, but definitely very intense, like blue, silver, purple shifting. So excited because next we have Lunar Light, which is such a pretty soft purple with like a green shift going through it, but it just looks so intense. Oh, it's gorgeous. We've got Atlantis, which is another matte that feels similar to Transcend, where like there's pigment there. It doesn't feel like super dry, but it doesn't feel quite as intense as the others. And I would say that's like, I don't know why I'm wanting to describe that as like a Play-Doh purple. Does that make sense? And then we've got Cosmic Flow, which looks like a multi-chrome with like a kind of green and berry shift happening. I feel like that one is a little more grungy. Ooh, that's so stunning. Oh my god, okay. The last shade here is a little more grungy than everything else that's going on in the palette so far. Next we have Utopia, which is like a Barney purple. That one feels very intense. We've got Lemuria, ooh, which is like this silver, blue, purple, multi-chrome, but it's just like really soft and I don't know. It's not as like sparkly as some of the other ones, but the shift is super, super pretty. We've got Great Crystal, which is a deeper purple. Love to see it. I feel like that adds a lot to what's already happening in this palette. So pretty. Okay, next we have Starseed, which feels kind of like a dirty word for some reason. It's like this purple, blue, super, super intense multi-chrome. Like, hopefully you guys can see. Very, very shiny. We've got Pleiadian, which is like a deep teal, like a deep emerald, I would say, actually. That's gorgeous. Moon Magic, which is another like purple, blue shifty shadow, but this one has like a green base. It's super sparkly. It looks holographic, like just very, very intense. And then since we only have one shadow left, I'll just go ahead and swatch it. We've got Edge of Night, which looks like a really intense deep blue. Okay. Ooh, that is stunning. You know, when we talked about recently in the indie makeup hot takes video about like palettes that are really expensive because they have so many special shades, and I was like, I get it. But I feel like I just have to say this shade is truly unique. I don't have anything else like that. So swatch is done. First impression, honestly, this patch, I feel like I can barely speak at this point. First impression, just from swatching, this palette looks so good. Let's do an eye look. I feel a moral obligation to do a purple look with this palette, so I'm gonna start off with the shade Portal first, and I'm just gonna throw that through my crease. I just picked up a little bit. I actually don't have a ton of time for this eye look, so we're definitely gonna be testing how fast everything blends. I think you could definitely kind of grab some more and build it up if your heart desires. And I actually think that shade would be really pretty as a blush. Either that or like a little bit of Night Shift. Okay, I'm getting off topic, but I'm gonna take a really tiny blush brush and just grab a touch of Night Shift, the pinker one. Just throwing that on for blush. It's definitely blending out. Like, it's not looking patchy or anything, which is nice to see because, you know, not every eyeshadow is meant to be used as blush. Sometimes it can get a little patchy, but I think that looks really pretty actually. I think I'm also gonna go into just a little bit of the shade Majestic on a big fluffy brush and just kind of pop that in my outer half of my crease, just for like a little bit of depth, but not necessarily being super precise with it yet. But again, I feel like the pigmentation's there, seems to be blending pretty easily. And I did just go in with the Juvia's Place eyeshadow primer, which is not my favorite, but I keep finishing primers and I haven't bought a new one yet. Like, I really miss the Anastasia primer. I think I might just buy it. So there's Majestic. I feel like that looks cute, but I definitely want to try and deepen this look up a little bit. So I think I'm going to go into, let's go into a little bit of the deepest purple, Great Crystal. I swear at this point, like 3 cats, a dog, I have animal hair on everything, but just going to go ahead and tap that into my outer V and then just slightly buffing it out. Okay. You know what? For as fast as I'm doing this look, I feel like it's doing a pretty good job. Not mad at that at all. I'm like anxious to get the shimmers on my eyes because I'm so excited to use them. But I think first I'm gonna go into like a really small pencil brush, and I really want to use that like deep emerald shade. It looks really pretty. I'm just gonna pop that on the like outer third of my lower lash line. I think I'm gonna take a touch of Moon Magic for my lower lash line because that shade was so unique. And I don't necessarily want to do like a super grungy smoky eye with that right now, but we can definitely use it for just like a little pop. I'm just taking my time and kind of building that up and bringing it over to the emerald. Obviously on the lower lash line, it's not gonna look anywhere near as beautiful as it would all over the lid, but I only have 2 lids, you know? You know you're a little bit too obsessed with makeup when you start looking at Mike Wazowski and you're like, can you imagine the multi-chromes on that one giant lid? Kind of want to take my like fluffy brush and go into just a little bit of light language because the purple is so pretty, and just like do a touch underneath my brow bone. I don't know. Like, I feel like this is not my usual style, but just because it has like no base to it, I think it would be kind of fun to just throw a little bit of that up here. I'm gonna take just a touch of Divine Light for my inner corner. I don't even know what to do because there's too many pretty shades. Just gonna pop that on. I feel like these like lighter iridescent multi-chromes are really pretty, but a little bit less unique. Like, if you have a lot of indie palettes, I don't feel like these are standing out, but they are really beautiful nonetheless. Definitely adding just like a little bit more blue to the look. And of course, you know me, I'm bringing it up like all the way into my crease. My inner corner shade can never just be my inner corner shade. It has to be more. I think I want to go into Lunar Light just because that's my favorite shade. But I also really love Moonrise, but I feel like that doesn't go as well as Lunar Light does with this look. And I actually think that I am going to go ahead and try it out with a brush first, just because I feel like you guys might want to know if it works with a brush. And I have nails on, which it's not always the easiest thing to do your lid with nails. So I'm just going to at least tap it on first with the brush and then go over the top. So with the brush, like obviously it's picking it up, you can see it, but it doesn't necessarily look super intense. It's nothing to write home about with the brush, which is usually the case. So grabbing just a little bit of that with my finger, and there it is. Look how pretty. That is gorgeous. I'm just gonna throw on a little bit of the Maybelline Falsies Surreal Mascara. Okay, I think for a highlighter, I'm gonna go into just a touch of the shade Light Language because I wanna like kind of stick to the palette, and I think it'll be a really pretty highlight. I'm just going in with the same exact brush that I used for the blush, just to add a little soft purple moment. Look how cute that looks. I feel like it's completely capturing the whole vibe of the palette. And then we can go into the gloss, which looks really intense in the tube, but swatched out, it's kind of just like a sparkly, like rainbowy shimmer with like a touch of a like gold to pink shift happening. On the lips though, it's pretty subtle. It's kind of thick, like a, not sticky, but like a creamy thick kind of texture. Definitely not mad at it. I will try it as a topper for other things. Like it's not something I would have purchased. And it kind of has, I don't know, it definitely has a smell to it, but it was a sweet thing to throw in the package. All right, y'all, so overall, my first impression of this palette, I feel like the mattes blended super easy. I love the color story, and there is just so many special shimmers in here. I can definitely see why this brand is getting hyped up. I can definitely see myself purchasing more from them in the future. I still think it's expensive. Like it would have to be a color story I really love to purchase, which is how I felt about this one. But right off the bat, it does feel like good quality, and I cannot wait to do more looks with it. So I'd be so curious to hear if you've tried anything from Ensley Reign, what your experience has been, what your favorite products are. I was tempted to purchase their Cold Moon palette, but I was like, you know what? No, like let's just try out the one I already bought, wait for this to arrive. If I love it, then I can purchase the other one. But now it's on a pre-order, so I don't know how to feel. Now I'm kind of regretting not just purchasing it right off the bat, but I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. If there's ever an indie brand that you're like, I kind of want to buy this, but I don't know, like you're unsure about it, you want to see my thoughts on it first, always feel free to comment that. Let me know. I might end up purchasing from them for you and reviewing it. I feel kind of fluttered in this video because there's a lot going on in my household right now, and it's my first time filming since Christmas, so hopefully you guys didn't mind. I will see you guys very soon in the next video. Bye!